Welcome to Ithica Elementary School, or as we like to call ourselves, the IT School.
This is Miss Stapler's class.
And we are it!
We are a school of 752 children located in Carroll County, Georgia, in the Villa Rica city. Our school has been open for 15 years, and we are a very diverse school. We've got about 25% African American students, 70% white, and then other nationalities and multiracial children. If you were to walk in the doors of Ithica Elementary School today, it would hit you. This place is different. It's different in all the best kinds of ways. You'll see lights, smiles, you'll hear music, greeting, laughter. It is, without a doubt, one of the best places to learn and grow. But we had to work really hard to make it that way. So we want to invite you guys to learn about our 3-year journey towards making Ithica Elementary School the IT School by developing a student-centered culture where we push children to be their own agents of their learning, where they set high goals for themselves and work to achieve those goals each and every day. And when they do meet those goals, we like to celebrate. We make our children feel like there is nothing they can't do or accomplish. And likewise, we like to do the same thing for our teachers. When our teachers meet their goals, we celebrate big too. We want our professionals to know that they make a difference every single day and that they do the everyday work in this world that truly matters. So we want to invite you into our school to see what the IT factor is all about. But I want to go ahead and start by telling you, it wasn't always this way. This is a true story, and it is filmed on location, and these are real people, and they're real stories. We want you to know that it took a lot of hard work to get where we are now. So come join us, and we'll tell you how your school can also become an IT school. My name is Colleen Jones, and I'm the principal at Ithica Elementary School. When I first came here as the new principal 3 years ago, I was kind of just a girl with a dream. It was my very first principal job. And can I tell you, I was nervous, as any new principal was. But I knew this little school had so much potential to be something very, very special. My personal motto, well, let me go ahead and tell you. My leadership philosophy comes from a little Tupac. So let me spit a little Tupac at you, if you will. Did you hear about the rose that grew from the crack in the concrete? Providing nature's law is wrong. It learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its streams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from concrete when no one else ever cared.
Hi, my name is Christine Skelton from Ithica Elementary, and I'm a kindergarten teacher. I'm here to talk to you some about some goal setting that we do here at our school. When Ms. Jones first came to us about goal setting, it was very scary and it seemed like a lot. We asked questions like, how is this developmentally appropriate for kindergarten? But once we shed some tears and had some time to process, we changed our question to, what can we do to make this developmentally appropriate? And we decided to get to work. We knew it had to be something that they could understand and that was appropriate for them. So we made different kinds of visuals for them to help them see what goals they're meeting. For example, I am the dolphin class, and so I created waves for them to swim across their waves so that they can see where they are when meeting their sight word goal. At the end of each 9 weeks, we review these goals, and we have these one-on-one meetings with each student just to see which ones they achieved, which ones they need to continue to work towards. And we're also having those conversations with them, which also kind of falls back into that social emotional wellness, which is really important with these kids. It's just a lot of them don't necessarily have these conversations, so we try to do that with them here at school and build those relationships. Once they reach their goal, they will receive a dog tag for certain goals. For example, if they learn all of their letters and sounds, they'll become an alphabet expert. If they can count to 100 by ones and tens, they're in the counting club. So we give them these dog tags to just be able to brag and be proud of the goals that they achieved. We display them in the classroom around a necklace, and at the end of the school year, they get to see all the dog tags that they've collected over the school year and take them home and show them off to their family. We, over the years, the past 3 years, we have just added and added and added dog tags. There's different ones for every grade level, what works best for them, and just different ways to get these kids motivated. It really has worked. It seems overwhelming at first, but we've all really done a good job and just kind of embraced it. It's worked out really well for our school and for our classrooms, and we just keep meeting goals because we are the IT school. Thank you.
As you've seen in our journey at Ithica, we've done a lot of cool shifts and things that are different. One of the big areas was goal setting, and I teach everything from 3rd, 4th up to 5th grade this year, and our goal setting looked a little bit different from when we first started it 3 years ago to where we're currently at now. When we first started in 3rd grade, we would use a little bit of a piece of paper, and we would talk to the students and talk about what their goals were, and we'd write it down. But what we come to find out was it had kind of a disconnect with the students, because even though we would talk to them there in that first year, when we took those pieces of paper away, the students didn't really own it and couldn't really connect to it. So when we went to our 2nd year shift, we really moved into more of a digital with Google Slides, where our kids really had that ownership of it, and those kids, they could show it to anybody at home, our teachers, anybody who wanted to talk about goals. Our students knew that goal, they owned that goal, and they were able to really explain what they wanted to do in that grade level, where they wanted to be, and plan action steps of how to get there. And then in this 3rd year, we've taken that and we've shifted it even farther. It's really student-centered, it's student-focused. The students can really explain, this is where I'm at, this is where I want to be at the end of the year, and here's the action steps I'm going to take to get there. This year, we know with COVID-19 and everything, we've had to shift, so we've really made a really targeted approach to make sure it's focused on the growth this year. So our students are really, the charts we have this year are focused on growth, so you'll actually see the students can track where they're growing and what they can do to keep growing, even if they're on that higher side, what they can do to grow even farther. And if they're a student who struggles, they still get to see that area on that chart that's growing and moving, and they get to have that ownership of that.
Year 1, we set the goal to inspect what we expect. And the big question with Year 1 was, what is the Elliott tool and how can it help us? The Elliott tool really served as a catalyst of change throughout our school. We had to make the mind shift of doing observations, and the staff adjusted to this as well. Observations that focused on them to observations that focused on the student learning environment and having conversations with them about their learning.
One of the key foundations to our student-centered goal-setting culture at Ithica Elementary School was we had to create sacred time for administration and teachers to sit down and talk about student data. I had to model for my teachers what coaching looks like for the children. And you can't do that, principals out there watching right now, unless you set aside some time to be able to do that. And guess what? Just like you, we didn't have money for collaborative planning days. So I had to get a little creative. And that's where we started our whole concept of Flex Friday. So every Friday, 2 of our grade levels will have a half-day planning period. And during that half-day planning period, they meet with myself and my assistant principal, and we just analyze student data, how they're doing, how they're growing, what we can do to help them become better and learn and engage them more. And so when my teachers are in that sacred planning time with me, once a month, all their students get to go for some extra exploratory time in their PE, art, music, and the children love that too. They love that time to get that extra enrichment. So we did this, and it was just an awesome way to make time to have more than just a 45-minute planning period with my teachers where we could really dive into the growth and the goal setting and what we needed to do to help our children be and succeed in the ways that we wanted them to. And as part of that meeting, we do what we call a data DNA, and I will include those forms as part of our presentation if you'd like a sample of them. And we go through and we dissect the data by most questions missed, standards missed. We look at our subgroups. We analyze how are our Black children performing, our special ed children, our economically disadvantaged children, and then we make action steps. I think that's the biggest thing that I would want y'all to know about Flex Friday and our data DNA process is action steps. It's one thing to just talk about data, but it's another thing to make a plan and do something about what you see in that data.
One important part of our learning environment is the connection and expectation of high student engagement. We needed to know, do students know their learning goals? Do they know their learning goals for the day? Do they possess the ability to talk us through those goals? What are their reading and math goals for the 9 weeks? Where are they at now with them? Where do they want to be? And what are they doing to make sure that they get there? This data was essential as we started to look at trends throughout our school. Not only trends within our grade level, but also trends within content areas. All of this paved the way to make sure that our students are future focused and goal setters.
Hi, I'm Heather Kennard. I'm the media specialist at Ithica, and I'm the lucky one who gets to be the holder of the treasure box. And for 3 years now, students have been able to earn a Met Goal ticket or a Made Progress ticket based on their STAR scores for STAR Math and STAR Reading. So when they come up here, they either give me the Met Goal. When they meet their goal, they're able to choose from the large items in the treasure box, which are full-size pieces of candy. Or if they make progress, they get to choose from the second row of the treasure box. When the students come in with their tickets, they're always so excited to tell me their growth that they've made on the STAR test. So they'll come in and say, Miss Kennard, I made 5 months growth on my STAR Reading. And I'm like, that's awesome. So they get to come over and choose their treat from the treasure box.
So it's year 2, principal, I've made it through my first year. And guess what? Goal setting is still around at Ithica Elementary School. But I knew one thing was critical and so important to the success of this initiative in year 2. And that was I had to connect it to the heart of our teachers. So I began our pre-planning with a special new surprise for my teachers. And that was creating a brand new tradition at Ithica Elementary School, our bell ringers. So when our teachers came into the first day of pre-planning, there was this big new shiny bell in the atrium and nobody knew what that was about. We came to our first faculty meeting and I showed them this video. Watch and see.
Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning.
How did it feel when you met your reading and math goal and grew over 1.5 years?
It felt good and exciting.
Great. Who do you think helped you meet these goals?
My parents and my teachers, Miss Williamson, Miss Turner, and Miss Turnipseed.
What will your goal be for next year?
2.5 grade levels.
You want to grow 2.5 grade levels. That's an awesome goal. Good morning, Demarius.
Good morning.
I want you to tell me how it felt this year when you met your goal of growing over 1 year in reading and learning 190 sight words.
Good. and I'm proud of myself.
You should be proud of yourself. We're proud of you too. Who do you think helped you meet these goals?
My teacher, Miss Montgomery and Miss B.
What is your goal going to be for this coming school year?
Read more sight work and be a better reader.
That is a fantastic goal. Good morning, William.
Good morning, Miss Brown.
I have some questions for you, and the first one is, I want you to tell me how it felt when you met your behavior goal of being an awesome Titan.
It was hard, but it's easy right now.
Who do you think helped you most in meeting those goals?
My parents and
It's okay.
my brother and sister and all those teachers that I've met, and especially you.
Can you tell me what is your goal for the upcoming school year?
To keep working hard so that I can become a chemist when I grow up, or maybe even a scientist.
Hey, Micah.
Hi.
How did it feel when you met your star reading goal and you grew 2 years and 2 months?
It took a lot of hard work, and I want to do it again.
Great. Who do you think helped you meet those goals?
My mom and Miss Corbett.
Well, what is your goal for this coming school year going to be?
To grow 2 years again and go up to 4.8.
That's a fantastic goal. Good morning, Amira.
Good morning.
I have a few questions for you, okay?
Hey.
I want you to tell me how it felt when you met your goal of walking.
Great.
Great! It was great. Who do you think helped you meet your goal? What people helped you?
Miss Akipia.
Miss Sakithia,
Miss Moore.
Miss Moore,
And Miss Sandy.
Miss Sandy,
Miss Connie.
and Miss Connie.
Yeah.
Well, I have another important question.
Yes.
What goal do you want to meet next year?
1.
You want to be a runner?
Yes.
That's a great goal. I want you to know we are so proud of you. We are so proud of you, okay?
Okay.
And one more thing. I love this whole school, and I want to tell every single adult in this whole wide school that I love them. And thank you.
As you can see, it started as a video and has become a tradition and part of the life of our school. Our children love to ring that bell. So after I showed that video in our first faculty meeting, I then had an altar call of sorts. I asked my staff, if you are about this same everyday work that counts, you will come with me to the atrium, and as our teachers and faculty members, you will ring the bell to show your commitment to the work that we do every day at Ithica Elementary School. So it's no surprise, every single one of my teachers, parapros, and staff members went into the atrium and we rang the bell together as a team. And it's now become a significant sign and sound of who we are as a staff and faculty.
I serve as the MTSS coordinator for our school, And although we had previously worked on the bottom 25%, we knew that as a school we had to make improvements and monitor our bottom 25% more closely and be more in tune with the action steps that we chose to implement to help these students be successful. Year 2 had us focused on changing structures. Our work became bigger, and we knew that we needed to improve our structures. Part of that became our new goal-setting dynamic team. It was led by Miss Christine Skelton, who you will meet in this video. Year 2 provided not only our new goal-setting team, but Elliott became a way of life in classrooms throughout Ithica. It was a normal practice, and the results continued to improve. We also honored our Data DNA days. Those are sacred days, and that time we honor, as we know it is truly part of the reason that we are able to move the needle for all of our students.
My name is Casey Nally. I'm in 2nd grade in Miss Stapler's class.
How did it feel when you tell us about your star math this semester or this 9 weeks?
I made 1 year and 5 months.
Growth in a half a year? How did you feel about that? How'd that make you feel?
Happy?
Happy? Were you proud?
Yes.
Who do you think helped you meet that goal?
Miss Stapler?
And who else?
Miss Brown?
And how did they help you? What are the things they do to help you, encourage you to reach your goals?
Help me on reflex math.
And did Miss Stapler, when you met that goal, how did she react? What did she do?
Happy?
She was happy. Did she ring a little bell in her class? Was she acting crazy? Yeah. So year 2 was going great. We had all our new initiatives set in place. Goal setting is flying high. We're doing great. And then boom, COVID-19 happened. And as you guys know, that was one of the most trying periods of time for every school in our state. And Ithica was no exception to that. But our staff knew one thing, and I knew one thing, which was that we couldn't change the heart and makeup of what makes Ithica such a student-celebrated culture. So we put our heads together and collectively thought, how do we keep doing goals? How do we keep celebrating kids? How do we continue dog tags when we're all socially distanced and not together as a physical school community? And we did it. So I know many of you out there in the state right now are not back in face-to-face learning like us. So I've got 2 examples for you right here of how we continued goal setting during distance learning using electronic digital badges. We used Screencastify and slides, and then we also made some awesome videos to continue to celebrate our students and all they were achieving. Check them out.
COVID prevented us from celebrating students in school and acknowledging them individually at our PTSO nights. However, this we were committed to as a staff. The celebration must go on. We also wanted to make sure that it had the same excitement and joy as always, because our students were pressing forward with distance learning just like the champions they had always been within our school building. We had to find a way to make it special, honor their accomplishments, Teachers read personal narratives about each student, and we did a social media push out for all to see. And the true test is when our parents called teary-eyed to tell us thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to watch their child receive a verbal accolation from their teacher. Distance learning was a great time to celebrate.
So here we are, year 3 of goal setting and student-centered culture at Ithica Elementary School. I can truly tell you we are now in the conforming phase of our 3-year strategic process. All of our old practices that we have outlined and told you about throughout this focus continue today, and it's become just a part of the way that we do business at Ithica. It doesn't feel like an initiative or an action step or something new. It's become part of who we are. So, I do want to tell you something. You heard me talk about COVID a few seconds ago. Well, again, this school year is unlike any other. So we started this year with 2 key words for my teachers, and those words are grace and nimble. The year of the Rona is here. So we have had to continue to be innovative about the way we approach student goals, because we started this year without any GMAS data. We started this year with kids further behind than they ever have been. So we had to adjust to the needs of the kids and what COVID-19 has presented us. And that's why this year we started some new initiatives and focuses on student growth. My teacher leaders are going to explain a little bit more about our focus on growing children from where they are to where they need to be.
Hello, I am Corinne Hindman and I am the school counselor at Ithica Elementary School. The GLAM Squad was born out of concern for the social and emotional health of our children during a global pandemic. The idea is that as educators, we must meet our students where they are, and that of course looks different for every single student in this building. So our focus this year was setting a foundation for success in both academic and social emotional wellness. Our team has 4 working parts and stands for guidance, literacy, additional social emotional wellness, and media. We work together with our exploratory team to teach lessons that align with ASCA mindsets and behaviors and social justice domains. The primary goal is to help build a school culture and climate that meets the needs of a diverse student body. We work on learning about emotions, developing coping strategies that can be used in the classroom when students experience disappointment, anger, sadness, and frustration. We've done this by implementing school-wide calm down corners and mindful minutes in the morning that focus on taking a moment to be present and practices different deep breathing techniques and grounding exercises. We talk about our identity, cultures, traditions, and are focused on building students' sense of self. We work on developing goals for their future, and we have implemented the Super 16 character trait dog tags, which allow our students the opportunity to be selected each week for using good manners, showing good sportsmanship, being honest, learning from their mistakes, and performing random acts of kindness. Our school goal-setting initiatives do not stop at just academics. They are designed to embody the whole child and to focus on helping them develop in all areas of their life.
One of our growth initiatives that are new this year, based off of our SGP data, is our VIP student initiative. So each 9 weeks, our children take the STAR reading and math test, And the 5 children with the highest SGP scores for the grade level then become the VIP student for the day. We've invested in what we call the Wooter. It is an electronic scooter, and we call it the Wooter because it's after the Woot Woot wagon that I have every morning in the atrium with the children. So if our kids are designated as a VIP student for the day, they get to ride the electric scooter everywhere for the whole day in the school, and they love it. They'll take it through the lunch line, they take it to the library, and it's become a new step that we've taken that every kid in the school is hungry to grow because they want to be the VIP student and ride the Wooter. We appreciate you guys coming on this journey and seeing some of the things that we are doing to create a student-centered culture at Ithica Elementary School based on goal-setting initiatives. So, I know you're sitting at home wondering, well, does this even work? Are the results worth all the effort? Well, we have brought results for kids. You see, you can't call yourself the IT School without results. Through our 3-year journey of goal setting at Ithica Elementary School, we have had an academic achievement renaissance. Ithica was in the top 20% of achievement scores in every content area and every grade level. We were the top 7% of the state for our 3rd grade math. We were the top 3% of the state for science. We dominated the state average in all content areas and all grade levels. We were named a Title I Distinguished School. We were named a Crayola Created National School. We are, for the first time ever in our school history, an A-rated CCRPI school. But one of our proudest accomplishments is the breakthrough performance of our minority and at-risk students. Our Black students have improved in 3 out of 4 areas, and they have bettered the state average by 20% in ELA, 25% in math, 22% in social studies, and a staggering 36% in science. Our economically disadvantaged students improved in every single content area and beat the state average by the lowest of 23% and the highest of 42%. Our Hispanic students outperformed the state in all areas by 24% or more. Our special education students have improved in every content area, and they also outperformed the state average by 20% in every content area. But I also want to brag, they outperformed all special education students in the state by 70% in the area of science. You see, at Ithica, when we say goals and learning is for all students, we truly mean all. It transcends and provides equity and relevance and meaning for all children. This has moved the needle at our school. And if test scores, stats, and data is really not for you, well, I also want you to check out the words of some of our teachers and parents as to how this initiative has changed lives.
Hi, my name is Amber Boyd. I wanted to speak with you just for a few minutes about some of the great things that are going on at Ithica and why I love Ithica. My son is currently a 3rd grader at Ithica Elementary. The teachers, the administration, all the way from the extra support staff, the PTSO, everything is school focused, kid focused, education focused. There is nothing more exciting than to see a school that loves kids. And I know recently they've implemented a few of student goals. And one thing I wanted to talk about those student goals were about personal growth and personal development. I am a pediatric nurse practitioner. I have years of experience in the mental health field as well. And so what I feel like may be lacking that we're trying to touch in early, it's self-accountability, self-growth, personal growth. And the big thing that I like about this is we are not striving here at Ithica for a number. We are striving, meet your child where they're at, help them grow.
Ithica is the best place to get kids motivated and pumped up when they walk in the doors of our school. My favorite thing is being greeted every single morning as a teacher, but also for our kids with music blaring in the atrium. They come in, and some of our kids who probably didn't have the best morning or the best start or the best weekend get to walk into a dance party. They come in and they are breaking it down, spinning on their backs, having so much fun in the mornings. Also, the teachers are typically waiting right at the doors to give them a hug or a smile or whatever they choose, a handshake, a high five, something just to let them know, greeting them by their name, letting them know they're happy to be here for the day. Probably one of my favorite things at Ithica, though, is our dismissals on Fridays. So on Friday dismissal, we do the Titan chant, and all the kids come out. And this year with COVID, it's a little different. We have to stay in our classrooms, but you can hear the cheers through the whole entire school. I love that they have a chant that they're a part of every single week. They know the words to. My own personal kids say it at home all the time. They're teaching it to their younger brother and sister. So it's just the whole culture and being so excited about our school. I think it brings kids in and makes them excited to start their day, even if they had a rough start at home, and then it gives them something positive and happy and a feel-good moment before they get on the buses or get in their cars to go back home.
Hi, my name is Yvette Marston, and I'm the parent of 2 boys here at Ithica, a 1st grader and a 5th grader, and we are new to the school district. We recently moved here from New York this year. Originally, my children started out as remote, which I have 6 children, and 5 are in the district. One as young as being in the PALS program, and the oldest in the high school. 2 here at Ithica, and 1 in Bay Springs. And I had everyone remote initially, and it was quite a struggle. I'll admit that. It was hard with how they were adapting to remote learning, and it was hard with me trying to keep them on task, especially my 2 Ithica students. And eventually, after talking with the principal, I was reassured that my children would be safe and they would be in good hands if I was okay with allowing them to come in to do face-to-face. My 1st grader, Kyrie, was the first one that came, and it was such a drastic change that I saw from him doing the remote learning and having such a difficult time with me, like from morning to night. It was like, come on. And it just wasn't working. And then within that first week, just to see the progress he made and how interested he was coming to school every day. And even though the difference between here was they start school here around 7-something, and his old district was 9. And it was such a task to wake him up every morning to get up to go to school at 9 o'clock. And his teachers would be like, oh my goodness, he's not a morning person. And he would drag his feet all throughout the day up until like maybe 11, 12 o'clock. And here it is, I'm asking them, oh, how is he? And is he, sluggish in the morning? And they're like, no, Kyrie is great when he enters the building, and he's ready to do his work, and he's made friends. So it warmed my heart how well he had transitioned. And then I had my 5th grader, who I was nervous about bringing him, mainly because his grades, he had some issues with his previous school as for how well he was doing in the class and in that school. And I wasn't sure if it was about the school or about the teachers sometimes, just different things, which I did love his district before too, but we just had some hiccups in the road. And here, he was doing exceptionally well in remote learning. Miss Calhoun was great with him. She had a setup, and I appreciated how she came in and made sure that to try to fill in the gaps of his learning gaps. And we were doing that remotely, and he was seeing the best grades he had seen in such a while because they were based off of how he was doing individually. He actually had like an individual plan in the sense that was working for him. So, you know what, after speaking with them, I transitioned him into the face-to-face. And we had a meeting just last week, and I was so grateful for that meeting. It was a meeting that normally when I walk into those meetings, I'm bracing myself like, oh, what news am I gonna hear? What are they gonna say? And it was nothing like that. It was, let me tell you how great your son is. Let me tell you what we've been doing. Let me tell you how in this class he does this and does that. And it was like, wow, and I'm clearly they, were a bit shocked by some of the things I was saying, but I'm like, no, you have no idea, like, for what I've been going through for these last 2 years with him in school, to hear this and to hear that he's doing so well. And even after the transition, because he usually has issues with transitions, even though I thought maybe just remotely it was just remote, that maybe that's why he was doing better. No, he's come here and they're like, he's knocking it out the ballpark. And I'm like, wow, and he's progressing at a good rate. And I'm like, you know what? I had to tell them. I said, I have to give you guys your props, every single one of you. I am so impressed with how you have handled my child and the impression that he leaves on you, as well as you all leaving on him, because he comes home and he tells me, hey mom, this is what happened. My teacher said this, my teacher said that, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. And they absolutely love coming to school. And when they miss school, it's like, oh mom, and they love riding the bus. It's just been such a wonderful experience. And I just was so thankful from the teachers to the principal and everybody that's a part of Ithica. I've been so happy to have been a part of this school district.
Hi, my name is Alicia Moore, and I am an adaptive curriculum teacher here at Ithica. One of the main things I have to say about Ithica is it's not just a school, it's a family. The administration is so with everybody. They know what's going on in your personal lives as well as at school. There's a lot of support. My classroom is accepted and loved like every student in the school. It's great. Everybody knows my children's names, and we know that we are supported no matter what we need. If there's anything we need, we just ask, and it pretty much is given to us. I have been teaching 30 years, and this is the best school I have ever worked at, especially with the way the administration is with not only teachers, but parapros and volunteers and all of the students that are here. Everybody is important, and it's just one big family.
My name is Colin Williams, and I'm a pre-K teacher here at Ithica Elementary, and here to talk a little bit about the teacher morale here. It's so good to be here at this school. I wouldn't pick a different school to work at ever because Ithica, you can feel the family vibe here. As soon as you walk through the front doors, everything that you're feeling before you get here, it goes away. And I have to say that's because of our leaders, Ms. Jones and Ms. Brown. They're awesome. They're in the middle of the atrium every morning playing music, dancing, passing out breakfast. They're slinging dopamine, and I mean, they push it on us 24/7. And it helps the climate here at the school. And it's awesome to work here, and I wouldn't pick another place.
I'm Megan Thompson, and I am a parent of a student at Ithica Elementary School. We knew that Ithica Elementary was the school for us the moment that we stepped into the building. The genuine love and care and compassion that is shown to each child that walks through the door lets parents know that they can trust and have a peace of mind when they are dropping their kids off in the morning. The energy that Ms. Jones and Ms. Brown bring each morning to the atrium with the woot woot wagon and the music, everyone's dancing. I mean, guys, it's a place that even parents want to be. COVID has been very challenging this year. I have really missed being involved in the school as much as we have been able to do in the past. It's just something that you desire to be a part of. So I would certainly recommend for any families checking out Ithica to see if it's the place for you. They do amazing things with goals and really pushing our children. Different rewards, whether it be ringing the bell because they've had a certain amount of growth on a common assessment or a STAR test, or being able to ride the scooter in the hallway, or just receiving little tokens, whether it be a Sprite or a Snickers bar, or getting extra time in the gym, or a tag, you're it. There are so many opportunities for children to be celebrated at Ithica.
Hi, I'm Beth Brewer, and I'm a kindergarten teacher at the IT School. A key to goal setting is making sure that we're taking care of our students' social and emotional needs. At Ithica, we do this by greeting our kids every morning and by making sure that we build relationships with them from day one. In my experience, I have found that when I put forth the effort to greet them at the door and find out who they are and what they like and what they're interested in, they're willing to meet that high expectation that I set for them and that they set for themselves with their goals. They don't want the minimum. They want to please themselves, and they want to please the people that they know care about them at Ithica, and they reach as high as they can. And that's just one major benefit of getting to know our kids and making sure that they know how much we care about them and their success.
At Ithica, we know how to pump up our students and pump up our teachers. The motivation at Ithica is through the roof. Our students are pumped up and motivated by being rewarded for showing all that they know. Our principal, Ms. Jones, goes all out for us, for the students and for the teachers. Our students receive all sorts of rewards, such as ice cream parties, pizza parties, the list goes on and on, bell ringing. We get so many treats and rewards for our students, but our teachers as well. Just walking into the doors at Ithica and working at Ithica is a treat and a reward in itself. Ithica is the place to be.
Hi, I'm Joseph Bogazan, 5th grade teacher. This is my 3rd year here at Ithica, and I was going to talk with you a little bit about student relationships with staff and teachers. And at my last school, there were a lot of teachers that really had good relationships with the students, but as far as a school-wide thing, it wasn't happening. And here, it is so powerful to see that all your students are more than just students, they're like family. And so instead of just having pupils, you have people who are willing to do anything for you because they are family. And the love and the relationships built between the staff and the students, from all the way from custodians, bus drivers, teachers, administration, is so powerful to see and has been a great thing that I love about this school.
Hi, my name is Whit Martin. My family and I love Ithica Elementary School. My wife and I both have jobs that can be quite transient, and so we're always looking for a great school when we move into a new community. Coming to Villa Rica, Georgia, we were looking for a great school for our daughters. Both of them, they like to read, they like to study, and they're okay with academics. But since attending Ithica Elementary, my kids have begun owning their education. I think that's because their teachers own the education. My kids come home, they're looking for an opportunity to do math. They're looking for opportunities to read. At night, I have to tell them now, which is something that wasn't true before, girls, I need you to turn the lights off. And they're sad because they want to continue to read. I'm watching their skills grow. And it's not just because the education is so important, but because the teachers are owning their classrooms. When they do that, these are more than just students. These become their students. And the quality of that kind of education, it shows because of the relationships. My kids don't just like school, they love school. And so moving from a great school to an even better school, I'm thankful. And I'm grateful for all the hard work that these teachers put into making sure that my kids not only have a great education, but have relationships that deepen that every day.
We are it.
We are it. We are it.
We are it.
And we are it.
We are it.